Hello. What's going on? People? How are you doing? Happy New Year 2023 is here. You watching Live Production Tips and Tools, and my name is Sam. We are live now. We are a few minutes away from the launch of the new LUMIX S5 Mark II and S5 Mark II X from Panasonic. So if you are a Panasonic camera user, you know how important this is going to be. Now personally, I'm super excited. Obviously we're gonna be watching together, so just want to encourage you, we are live right now. We're gonna be watching the announcement video, so make sure, let me know where you're watching from in the chat. Feel free to say hello, let me know how you're doing, and let me know if you actually gonna be buying the LUMIX S5 Mark II or Mark II X. So again, today is gonna be this is gonna be a historical moment for LUMIX and for LUMIX users. I believe it because, well, what we know from the rumors, right, some stuff that were leaked, actually we're gonna have a new autofocus system, which is very important. This is a big deal. Guys. This is going to change the game. I'm super excited. So again, we are here. Let's see, we got 2 minutes left before the announcement. So if you guys can see, we are this is the actual page from LUMIX, Panasonic LUMIX video page on YouTube. By the way, you can still go there and actually watch the announcement right there. But if you wanna kind of hang out with me and enjoy the announcement, watch the announcement with me, obviously I'm gonna be adding commenting on it, and giving you my thoughts and my insight as well. I want you guys to interact. Let me know in the comment, let me know how you're doing, and let me know if you have any thoughts about the new cameras. Obviously this is going to be again, as I just said, this is gonna be epic. One thing that we know from the specs that actually were leaked, as you can see, obviously it's gonna be able to deliver 4K 60 frames per second, which is important. The X version doesn't have any crop for 4K 60 frames per second. That's the main difference apparently. And the S Mark II is gonna have a little bit of crop. So we're gonna hear all those details, but we got some specs here that were leaked. But one of the most exciting thing for me is going to be the new autofocus system. So the phase detect autofocus system that's actually been used by Canon and Sony for a long time. A lot of people wanted to switch. I was about to switch actually, and I feel like I may be staying with Panasonic. So guys, this is going to be awesome. Let's actually watch the video.
Welcome to the new LUMIX phase. Thank you for joining. My name is Barney Sykes and I work in the LUMIX marketing team. Today, let us proudly introduce the new LUMIX S5 Mark II. full frame
Wow.
hybrid
It is.
mirrorless using
It is
the
here,
L
guys.
mount. The LUMIX S5 Mark II has a brand new sensor and new engine, which is the first to be developed with L-squared technology. As you may remember, this is a new alliance between LUMIX and Leica. The S5 Mark II is an extension of the existing S5 product line and does not replace the original LUMIX S5. The new camera was developed along with the LUMIX brand tagline, motion, picture, perfect.
Wow.
We do not want creators to give up what they want to shoot because of the environment or camera technology limitations. Our mission is to encourage the style of the hybrid content creator. Now, let's unpack what's new first. We did it! The LUMIX S5 Mark II will have phase hybrid autofocus. Not
Hey,
only
let's go,
high
let's go, let's
specification,
go.
But incredibly high performance. By
Let's
combining
go.
phase hybrid autofocus with LUMIX's own recognition technology, we have achieved significant improvement in autofocus performance. Such
Let's
as
go.
tracking ability, several people in a scene, product introduction, backlit conditions, low light illumination, and light source setting. With the combination of the new engine and new full frame sensor, LUMIX can realize high image quality and the highly appreciated LUMIX color science with phase hybrid autofocus.
Woohoo!
S5 Mark II has reinvented
Let's
the
go.
image stabilization system for video with a new, exclusively LUMIX developed algorithm. We believe that the S5 Mark II will offer one of the best image stabilizations for video in the hybrid mirrorless market, especially whilst walking. We call it Active IS. The S5 Mark II can determine the status of camera shake and optimizes horizontal, vertical and rotational correction ratios. The system can compensate for even the smallest camera shake and around 200% more than the original LUMIX S5. Now, the S5 Mark II is the ultimate hybrid mirrorless camera. If the camera moves, Active IS is there. If the subject moves, phase hybrid autofocus is there. The S5 Mark II
Wow.
will also offer truly unlimited video recording in all video modes. And, to be fully transparent and honest, the LUMIX Unlimited recording is measured up to 40 degrees temperature for Cinema 4K. To realise such high performance, the S5 Mark II has a newly designed fan, without any compromise on size or weight. The LUMIX S5 Mark II features a new technology which allows colour grading to be done within the camera itself. We call it real-time LUT. You can load your favourite LUT into the camera and use the camera body to record photo and video after applying the LUT. This new feature will be a big benefit for users unfamiliar with the editing process, such as colour grading, and it allows them to expand their creativity. Now, let's talk about operating the camera and what is new. The S5 Mark II has been upgraded with a full-size HDMI. We have a new joystick with 8-direction movement that can be manipulated vertically, diagonally to enable instant subject selection. The new 3.6 million dot OLED viewfinder and the original S5 had a 2.3 million dot viewfinder. Now, let's talk about video specification for the hybrid LUMIX S5 Mark II. This camera is capable of 6K video in 3x2 and 17x9, 5.9K video in 16x9, all recorded in 420 10-bit, 29.97p, 25p, 24p and 23.98p. As you can see, the popular open gate feature is enabled on the LUMIX S5 Mark II. We will also offer Cinema 4K and 4K at 59.94p, 50p, 29.97p, 25p, 24p and 23.98p, all in 422 10-bit colour. Of course, we are also including our V-Log profile with over 14 stops of dynamic range, and the S5 Mark II also has dual native ISO. Now, as we've mentioned, the S5 Mark II is a hybrid camera and we still love photography. The S5 Mark II can use the electronic shutter to capture high-speed continuous shooting of up to 30 photos per second in RAW and JPEG, importantly whilst suppressing the rolling shutter. And the internal buffer memory of the LUMIX S5 Mark II has also been upgraded. We can now capture up to 200 photos in RAW and JPEG using the 30 frames per second mode. We have a 96 megapixel high resolution mode for both RAW and JPEG.
Wow.
The sensor itself is a 24.2 megapixel sensor. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the LUMIX S5 Mark II, a camera we are delighted to be able to introduce to you today. There is
Let's
one more
go.
thing. The LUMIX S5 Mark II X is a revolution in hybrid mirrorless camera design. Mushin, which means shaping emotions, is a design philosophy common to the LUMIX S series. Since the launch of the S series, keeping the idea that the camera is only a creative tool, we have sought to create harmony with the creator's shooting environment. This is the first all-black design in the LUMIX S series.
Wow.
The S5 Mark II X has all the amazing features and benefits of the original LUMIX S5 Mark II and more. Let us show you what is new in the S5 Mark II X. Up to 5.8K Apple ProRes 422HQ and 422 recording via USB to SSD, and internal Full HD Apple ProRes. Up to 800 megabits all intra recording, Apple ProRes RAW via HDMI, wireless IP streaming, wired IP streaming, USB tethering to smartphone, and of course the awesome all-black design. The S5 Mark II X will be available from May 2023.
Wow.
In addition to two new
Can't wait.
cameras, we will also launch a new S-series lens, the 14 to 28mm ultra wide-angle lens with half macro feature. Compact, super lightweight, and sales will start in February 2023. As you can see, these new, exciting, innovative, reliable cameras, the LUMIX S5 Mark II X and S5 Mark II, will compete directly against some of the more recently announced full-frame cameras, but excel in terms of features, specification and design. We hope you enjoyed the new LUMIX phase and share our excitement for these new products. Please stay tuned on this channel where LUMIX experts will be able to answer any questions on today's announcement.
Panasonic.
Welcome to the S5 Mark II live discussion from Las Vegas.
Wow, 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 wow. Hey guys, so here you have it. Everything that's been said on the internet, everything that was actually leaked is true. We have the new LUMIX camera, the S5 Mark II, and yes, they got the autofocus right this time. This is a historical moment. Again, guys, you can actually go ahead, check out all the specs, and obviously check out the LUMIX channel, the LUMIX video channel, okay? And they're probably gonna be discussing more stuff, but if you have some thoughts, let me know in the chat. But for now, what I want to say is I am super excited, of course, because this changes everything. Guys, if you don't know me, I'm a Panasonic GH5 user. I've been using my Panasonic GH5s for over 5 years, I believe, or 6 years. And I love Micro Four Third, but at some point you just feel like you need to upgrade to full frame, right? And this was the moment I was really ready to pull the trigger to go to full frame. And guess what? I wasn't thinking about LUMIX. Why? Because of their autofocus. And now I'm doing a lot of YouTube. I do shoot weddings, and one of the frustrating things, I know back in the day we used to be like, oh, filmmakers don't really, you can rely on autofocus, but autofocus has gotten so better that like if you're shooting with a gimbal, you want to have autofocus, right? It's so hard to be dealing with focusing, especially if you have a lens where you kind of need to get that nice depth of field, right? It's so hard for you to be dealing with kind of manually focusing and stuff. It just doesn't work, right? So if you're using a gimbal and you have a great reliable autofocus, it's just amazing. And it was just super impossible with LUMIX cameras. My GH5s, I use it sometime, but I never get like a consistent shot. Sometimes I'm lucky. When I'm lucky, I can still get something for sure. The autofocus is not terrible, but it's not that reliable. So I was just thinking of upgrading to Sony, to Sony or Canon, because they have the best autofocus. So let's see, we got Edward in the chat. How you doing, my man? We were talking last night. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you for being here. So guys, having this kind of the new autofocus with the LUMIX, man, it just changes everything. So yeah, so I was ready to upgrade to full frame from my Micro Four Third cameras, and I was thinking about Sony. I think Sony was the best option for me. I was looking for a hybrid camera, obviously, that can take photos and video. I'm not a photo guy, so I don't really do a lot of photography, but sometimes I do take photos, right? So I was like, I need to get something that can do photos and video at the same time. And obviously I was thinking about Sony. Canon, I'm not a big fan of Canon. Canon is great. They have a great color science, but I feel like their stuff is kind of overpriced, when you're trying to get a nice camera that can, with good specs, especially if you're looking for that kind of slow-mo 60 frames per second 4K. There's no better camera than LUMIX when it comes to giving you the best specs. So now, guys, yesterday, it was a few days ago, I saw the leaks that were all over the internet about the LUMIX S5 Mark II, and surprisingly it was with autofocus, the new autofocus system. That was just like, I was like, okay, I guess I'm not leaving LUMIX, right? I was like, no, I may not be leaving LUMIX, because I got a full frame camera now, and I got the phase detect autofocus system, which is great, guys. I know they talked about a lot of stuff for the S5 Mark II and the S5 Mark II X. You got the 6K capabilities, you got 4K 60 frames per second, full HD HDMI, full size HDMI, all those juicy stuff, IP streaming. But I'm mostly excited about the new autofocus system. That's what excites me the most, and this is just awesome. So let's see, Edward has a question in the chat. So says, bro, can you use Micro Four Third lens on this new LUMIX S5? Unfortunately, no, you can't, because this is a full frame camera, so the sensor is a little bigger. Actually, it's not just a little, it's bigger, right? It's 2 times what you see on the Micro Four Third cameras. So you can't, but I am thinking you cannot do it. You need to buy their lenses. They announced one lens, actually. I believe it was 12 mm to 12 to 35, I believe, f4 to 5 point something but they have some other lenses and they use the L mount. Okay, and I believe Sigma does make some lenses as well for the L mount that you can actually purchase. So yeah, you're gonna need some full frame lenses for this camera, unfortunately. However, I'm thinking they may actually be announcing, I don't know when, but since they have the new autofocus system, they may be announcing maybe the GH7 or the GH6 Mark II in the near future, where they are going to probably obviously use the new autofocus system, and at the same time you can actually be able to use your existing micro four third lens, because the GH6, GH5, GH4, they're all micro four thirds. So if they announce GH7 or GH6 Mark II, it's probably gonna be with the new autofocus system, and you can use your existing micro four third lenses with that. So I'm hoping that's going to happen in the future, but I know Lumix or Panasonic has actually been listening to people been complaining a lot about the old autofocus system that was not reliable. The last time they announced the GH6, everybody was excited, the camera was so exciting, but the only problem, they failed to deliver the autofocus system that people wanted, something reliable. So now we have it, guys. Now we have it. All right, my man. So unfortunately you cannot, but eventually it's gonna be something that can actually, you know, be implemented, or this it's gonna be something that may be possible if they actually announce a new micro four third camera with the new autofocus system. All right, phase detect autofocus system, which is super exciting. So that's pretty much it, guys. Again, we get some, I don't know if the camera is actually available right now. I'm gonna go ahead and check the let's see, I'm gonna go ahead and go to B&H and see if the camera is available for sale right now. There we go. The camera is actually available for pre-order on B&H right now, guys. So this is should be here. There we go. So we got the LUMIX S5 Mark II and the LUMIX S5 Mark II X ready for pre-order. Let's click on it, and as you can see, guys, the price is here. The price is $1,019.97 and 99 cents, obviously. So that's roughly under $2,000, which is, I mean, it's really good. This is a full frame camera we're talking about with a great autofocus for under $2,000. This is great. This is great, guys. This is great. Let's check out the Sony B&H. Let's check out the Sony A7, yeah, A7 IV Mark IV. See, this camera was announced last year. If you compare the specs, I actually believe this almost close, actually. And looking at the pricing, $2,500. You know, so I believe the Panasonic's coming for is going after Sony and Canon, because I mean, let's face it, one thing that we all know, if you don't know, you know now, is LUMIX or Panasonic has been producing great cameras and giving us affordable cameras that were really delivering good features and specs. And Canon and Sony has been delivering as well, but to get those same specs that you could easily get from Panasonic, you had to pay almost double the price, you know. And the only problem we all been having was the fact that their autofocus was not reliable. Now today the problem is solved. The problem is solved. So what is it going to be now? What is it going to be? This is bad for Sony. This is good for us consumers, because probably Sony is going to want to compete with Panasonic now and Canon, and they may be forced to lower their prices. Maybe who knows what's going to happen. But this is just exciting, and I love seeing the competition like this. And again, guys, the camera is actually ready for pre-order, and right here on B&H. I don't know if it's available on Amazon. And this is the Mark II, the S5 Mark II, under $2,000. And you can see all the pictures. Really, it's a nice camera. I mean, it doesn't look any different from the old S5 in my opinion. Just few features, full size HDMI, and yeah, let's do a quick close up here so you can see. This is what it looks like, guys. So am I buying this camera? I hope I will buy it because it just looks so good, and I'm super excited about the new autofocus system. This is exciting, guys. Now, I'm not a picture photo guy, as I said, and I'm not sure if this is gonna be so great for photography. That's another thing. But I know some people who have been using this camera for taking stills, probably, because again, this is a hybrid camera. And one of the things that I know, personally, I trust Canon, Nikon. I believe they really deliver good color, skin tones and stuff like that. They have a great color science when it comes to photos. So I'm always kind of trusting Nikon, Canon. Sony is great. It's been great lately. Yeah, but LUMIX for photos, I don't know. It's just me. I know that other people use it and like it. So we'll see. But if I were to buy this camera, I would be mostly buying it for mostly taking videos or shooting videos. That's it. So let's see if we can find the Mark II X. There we go. So this is the Mark II X 2019, 2,197 and 99 cents. So roughly 2,200, which is great as well. So again, as you can see, obviously this camera, two main things that you're getting from the X version. Obviously, you can see the design is different. It's all black. Okay. Second, you're getting IP streaming, so you can use streaming from the camera. Oh, by the way, with these two cameras, you can actually use LUTs in real time. This is gonna be super awesome for people wanting to live streaming. This is gonna be great. So when you live streaming, you can create your LUT, and you can actually apply the LUT into your camera, and that's going to allow you to send the signal directly from the camera to your to your feed. So if you're sending your HDMI through HDMI to your A10 Mini Pro or A10 Mini or any switcher, or if you're going directly from a capture card to the software, your image is already color graded and you're kind of ready to go. All right, so that's gonna be a nice feature for sure. Now this is not gonna be, I think the they say the the Mark II S5 Mark II X is gonna be available in May, which is it's not very far. Okay. You're also getting 4K 60 frames per second, no crop on this one. That's another that's actually what you kind of paying for. Okay, obviously you're getting 10-bit video recording, which is great. This is 24.2 megapixel full frame sensor camera, which is awesome. So both cameras are ready for pre-order. Okay, and this is an exciting news right now. Super exciting. Again, guys, this has been a historical moment in LUMIX camera users. Everybody's excited. I mean, I am excited. If you're not excited, I don't know. If you don't use or if you don't never used Panasonic cameras before, this is the time. This is the time to get into Panasonic, because everything is changing, you know, unless something else is going to be invented from Canon and Sony that will probably change the game and lower the pricing of their cameras. But I can see Panasonic grabbing a lot of clients. First, is going to retain a lot of clients, people who were ready to leave because they were kind of fed up with the autofocus system, especially people who are into creating video, creators like us creating videos on YouTube, people who shoot weddings too. Like a lot of people using gimbals. If you use a gimbal, you know how hard it is to kind of get that kind of blurry background with the subject in focus and still get that motion. So you need a good camera that can actually really track the person or track the subject and keep them in focus all the way. So this is super exciting, and again, I'll say this is a great move from LUMIX. All right, so guys, this is it for today's coverage. Probably gonna be releasing a few other videos talking about it, and if it happens, I'm gonna make sure I link them somewhere at the end of this live stream. But this has been epic, guys. This has been the coverage of the live announcement of the new LUMIX S5 Mark II and S5 Mark II X, two full frame cameras with the new face detect autofocus. This is historical, guys. Everybody is going to be excited about these cameras, especially Panasonic users, anyone who's been using LUMIX cameras for shooting videos. This is going to change our lives for sure. So again, my name is Sam. You're watching Live Production Tips and Tools, guys. Again, want to remind you that the S5 is only under $2,000. Under $2,000, getting a full frame camera with actually can cover up to 6K, guys. Can deliver up to 6K. I don't want to get into specs, but I'm gonna link all the information down below in the description, so you guys can actually read for yourself all the specs, all the juicy stuff that you're getting from Panasonic. You know, Panasonic, they they are always delivering when it comes to specs and features, so that's not something that we should worry about when it comes to Panasonic cameras. So super excited. Again, my name is Sam. You're watching Live Production Tips and Tools. Before we end the stream, we get somebody in the chat. We get Yang Tao Feng. How you doing? Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you for being here. Yeah, so guys, let's see. Yeah, so guys, yeah, this has been awesome, guys. I hope I'll see you in my next live stream, or my next video. Let me know down below if you're watching on a replay. Leave your comments. Let me know how you feel about the new S5 Mark II and the S5 Mark II X by LUMIX. But other than that, thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next time. Take care, guys.